have become so divided in this country that
That's
this is evil. This is not acceptable. This is evil. Why? So we have become so divided in this country that
that's
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High, His only begotten Son. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakak Radash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone who rule and teach well. Wa Barakathum to the hopeful elect. All right, now today through the Spirit, I want to go into a video entitled "A Divided Kingdom is Prophetic," right? A divided kingdom is prophetic, and I'm speaking about the kingdom of Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. It's prophesied that it will be division here. You see? And that it will be people coming against each other, right? To a point where we see how CK just got shot, right? We're going to use code words because we want you to fuck with the video. So CK just got blasted. We're seeing all types of division from the people who are from these ethnic groups of Latin tribes, Latin over there, Hispanic and Latin descent. They're over there arguing, getting pissed off at others. We see a lot of these super patriotic, conservative, these Edomites. You know, they're very angry. They're ready to put people to death, right? And they're super for CK and Trump and all that. You see, so all this division and it's so many division in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, this is all prophecy. The Lord prophesied for at the end times that it will be a kingdom that's very divided and has lots of division, and that's just gonna be the state of the world in total. So I want to get that clip real quick, and we're going to get some precepts real fast. Check this out. This simple ass Christian woman. Salakia.
Why? So we have become so divided in this.
We've become so divided, right? And at the end of the day, a lot of these people, they're in this kind of spirit right here. Which I'm going to get this real quick. I'm going to start right here, man. They're in the spirit of wanting to seek peace and wanting Babylon to be healed. But it's not going to be healed, man. You see? They're trying to revive this place and get it to where it's the peak. Everybody at peace. Everybody happy, living a good life. You see? Motherfuckers want to live good and have a good time, have their assets feeling good. Well, guess what's happening though? Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. It's not going to get peaceful. It's going to be more division. It's going to be more deaths like this. It's going to be more terrorist attacks. Why? Because the Lord is rousing up these spirits on people. And it's a perverse spirit on a lot of these people. It's a spirit of vengeance on a lot of these people. That spirit of division is happening because the Lord is taking his kingdom now. Henceforth, that's why you have precepts like this. Amos. Where is that? Amos, the 3rd chapter. Amos 3:3. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? You see? Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth? It says, where there is no gin for him, like it's not no trap. It says, shall one take up a snare from the earth and have not taken nothing at all? It says there's a trap shut when there's nothing to catch. And it gave many more analogies. You see? But you can't walk with somebody if y'all aren't agreeing on the direction y'all are going, right? And that's how this kingdom is. We're in a divided kingdom where it's all these various different beliefs. And there's no belief that's established. There's no order here. You see? And when you go into the scriptures, matter of fact, we're going to get this right quick. Because I got some precepts that I had, but, the Spirit's having me go into some other precepts beforehand, before I get the ones I had queued up. Let me see. Might be in Proverbs what I'm looking for. Let me see. Here we go, yeah. Sirach 10:1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people. Right? That's the person who's in a rulership position, a leader position. It says, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right? We'll make something well ordered. You see, having the law, statutes, and commandments established, as the standard in the Bible. You see, and that's what's going to happen when the Messiah returns. He's going to have a rulership, a theological rulership, a rulership geared towards the Bible, the righteousness, the word. The pathway the Heavenly Father set up. That's what's going to be the standard in the kingdom. Because when you have a kingdom like this where you can do as thou wilt, do anything, it's not well ordered. It's all division. Everybody's going all these different paths. Right? You have Edomites that are into this, and Edomites that are into that. Because let's say, for example, you got these super Judaism into, like, you got these so-called little hats that's supposed to be into Judaism, and then you got some that's supposed to be Christians, and then you got some that's into this, and so on and so forth, and they're all divided. So they're not going to be on the same page. You see? And really, they're not the people anyway to even be dealing with the scriptures. That's that Psalms 50. What hast thou to be dealing with the scriptures, loosely paraphrasing. Matter of fact, I'll just get that real quick, just to not paraphrase it. This is Psalms chapter 50 and I believe here we go. This 50 and 16. It says, but unto the wicked, the Heavenly Father said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seest thou hatest instruction and casting my word behind thee? So they declaring the scriptures, but they ain't even doing nothing the scriptures say. Because the Lord didn't bless them with the Spirit to be able to have that discernment. Because they're not the actual people. They're not going to ever have the understanding because they're not the actual Israelites. They're frauds. You see? But back to the point. Division, is something that's biblical. Right? I also want to get this before we continue on. This is Proverbs 11:1. It says, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. You see? So the Lord set up this evil ass kingdom for it to what? Be divided. The evil are having their time to rule. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. But then the Lord is going to overthrow him. You see? So everything's not going to be good. She's talking about division and all this, trying to heal Babylon, but it's not going to be healed. And also, you even got to get this too, Jeremiah. This Jeremiah 51 in verse 8 and 9. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And that's because it's going to be a great destruction upon Babylon the Great. The daughter of Babylon is America. You see, Babylon the Great, when it speaks about that in the scriptures, because there was a kingdom that'll be named after Babylon, which means confusion or Babel. Right. And that's this rulership is foundationalized off of confusion. You don't know what's next to you, if it's a MALE or the other. You see, it's all these various different beliefs. You see, people identifying as all types of stuff. It's all confusion. There's no order here. So it applies to being Babylon. Babel means confusion. It says, verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. You see, her sins are reached up to the skies. right? But the Lord's not going to heal America and make it go back to normal where everything's all peaceful, which that's what these people seek. That's what that lady was seeking, that simple Christian woman. She wants everything to go back to being peaceful, but it's not. You see, the peace is going to come when the Messiah returns and destroys all this wicked ass kingdom. You see? Now let's go here. Let's go here to the ones I have queued up. Let's start here. And this is the Messiah speaking. This is what he said about it. If I can get my bookmark to come on up. Stop. Satan, get the fuck out of here. Here we go. All right. This is the first precept I want to go with. This is Matthew 10, and I'm going to start at verse 34. It says, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right? That means destruction. You see? Destroying the infrastructure. Right? The Yahweh's return, he's going to come back and destroy. Isaiah 66. The Lord coming with fire, and with his anger like a whirlwind. For by fire and sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. He's not coming in no nice manner. He's coming to bring destruction. And also, even the spirits being roused up. People are coming against each other. People are ready to kill somebody based upon who they quote unquote voted for. Or if you ain't supporting CK, a dude trying to put you to death for that. Because that's the time period we're in. This is 35. For I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be dead of his own household. That sounds like a division to me. Right? And it's gonna become more division as these times go on. You see? And this is the Messiah talking right now. This is prophecy. All right, and this is another prophecy right here. Because Matthew 24 basically is an answer, because the disciples asked, Lord, when is going to be the end of the world and when you're going to return? And he gave them the responses, but one of the responses was division. The love, it's not being no love in the world. This is Matthew 24 and 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, they asked him a question. They were more in an intimate setting. They were in a private, intimate setting, and they asked him a question. It says, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world, the end of this age? That these Edomites ruling. Edomites ruled in this time period, the Roman Empire. Right? That's cosmos, that word right here. I mean, not cosmos, aeon. Aeon is the one, the age. Yep. Aeon is the age. Cosmos is like a harmonious arrangement. So when it's going to be the end of this aeon, which is the age, a period of time, because the period of time was what? Edomites ruling in the Roman Empire. Right? And it says, now Yahweh gave the responses. Right? But I want to go jump down to this response. This is Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. It ain't going to be no love. And when you get that word iniquity right here, it says anomia. Anomia, it says the condition without law, lawlessness. And that's what's here in Babylon the Great. You can do whatever here. There is no law and order in America. Right? You go into the root word, it says departing from the law, violator of the law, lawless, wicked. You see? Because wickedness or lawlessness shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Let's get that word wax cold. It says psycho. It says waning love, which means lacking. You see? Disappear, decreased love. Disappearing love, right? It's an action word. You see? So it's going to be divided, and people aren't going to, like, that human compassion is going to be gone. That's why you have somebody that's ready to, which the person I'm pretty sure was set up. They were set up, and they willing to accept that offer of being set up to blast CK or to do all this stuff, because that's the time period we're in. You see? And it's going to get more divided. As this stuff gets worse, it's going to get more divided. Right? Because I want to grab this real quick, because America is known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Right? It comes in the same spirit as the ancient Egyptian empire. Like that Pharaoh set up with the top elite. All these idols being pushed out. And then even like the how powerful it is, the military might. This is how the ancient Egyptian empire was. And it was looked like it couldn't fall. But the Lord did make it fall. Pharaoh did have a great overthrow. That's Romans the 9th chapter. But I want to get here. This is Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. That's talking about that great city is Babylon the Great, daughter of Babylon, America. You see? Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. You see? So this in America, guess what happened? They destroyed the image of the Lord, and then they completely made it lawless. It's completely against everything the Lord stood for. And it comes in the same spirit as Sodom, because what did Sodom do? Two of the same GENDERs, man. It was fornication, illicit sexual acts happening in Sodom. It's happening here in America, and it's endorsed here. It says that Egypt, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt as well. You see? So it comes in the same spirit as ancient Egypt as well. You see? So now I want to grab this because it spoke about that spiritual Egypt right here in Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah 19, and I'm going to give verse 1 and 2. It says, the burden of Egypt, right? And this is talking about that spiritual Egypt. It says, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, right? A chariot. That cloud is what? Revelation 1 and 7. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. They're going to be scared when Yahweh shall return. You see? Verse 2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. These Americans are going to be divided, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom, right? And the spirit of the Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. You see? So that's what's happening here to Babylon the Great, daughter of Babylon, which is America. And they seek into these idols, Cesare Borgia, you see? Or they're using this technology to try and figure out a way to not go down, Esau, so on and so forth, man. Trying to figure out a way to rule forever, but it's not going to happen. But this is the last one I got right here, and I got my other ones in the Apocrypha. But it's prophecy, because like now I'm in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, and Daniel had a vision of a big stone image, right? And then it had different metals and different stones that different elements that it was made out of. You see? It had brass, silver, bronze. No, I had Slocky. It had the gold. Matter of fact, I'm finna get it. It had the gold, the silver. It had the gold, the silver, the bronze, and then so it had the gold. Because I'm gonna get it. Let me see. Let me get the preset where it shows it. Here we go. So it had the gold, the silver, the brass, and the iron. And then the bottom was iron and clay, right? Because I'm gonna read it right here. This is Daniel 2 and 31, it says, thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. It was frightening, because Daniel was getting a vision revealed to him. Right, verse 32, it says, the head of the image was gold, which was the Babylonian Empire. The breast of his arms, it says the breast and his arms silver, that was the Mede to the Persian Empire. And these are all captivities that the southern kingdom would be under. Right? They would have to go into. It says his belly, the thighs of brass, right? That's the Greek Empire. And then it says his legs of iron, which was the Roman Empire, and his feet a part of the iron and clay, which that's the divided kingdom we're in right now, America. Babylon the Great, which is the head of this beast. You know, the head of NATO and the EU is America. And that's where we're at right now. So now with that understanding, let's go down here. We're jumping down. This is Daniel 2 and 41. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, right? The iron and clay kingdom. This is talking about this revised Romanian Empire, which is here, Babylon the Great, America, along with NATO and the EU. It says the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the clay. You see? Because it's going to come in the same spirit as that Roman Empire. It says, and the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of clay, so that the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see? So that's how America is. You know, has a great military. So that's one of the great things about it. But the morale here is fucking terrible. The culture here is terrible. This is verse 43. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, shall they mingle themselves with the seed of men. See, and they formed alliances, NATO and EU. It says, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as the iron is not mixed with the clay. It's not going to hold on together. You see, because Yahushua is going to come and destroy the NATO and EU, all these NATO nations. You see, America's going to be destroyed because the the European Union nations are going to come against America. You see, and along with Russia, Iran, and then even the allies are going to come against America. That's Revelation 17. You see? And then America's going to be destroyed, but also these other kingdoms are going to try and gather together and fight against Yahushua, and they're going to lose too. You see? But this is showing division right here, and this is what the state that America, Babylon the Great, will be in. Now, let's get these I have right here. This is 2 Ezra 15 and verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy his houses with sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right? Because it's gonna be division. Like, and as this hell, as the tribulation goes up, it's gonna be more divided. It's gonna be more lawlessness. People, coming against each other. And I want us to jump up. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 15. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Sedition is like a conflict, so it's going to be division. This is all prophetic, because guess what's going to that spiritual Egypt, as we read earlier. Now let's get these next two. So as this hell ramps up, it's going to be more division. This is Ecclesiastes, known as Sirach, chapter 12. I'm going to get verse 8. It says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Right? So an enemy is going to be proven to be an enemy whenever hell comes, because they're going to show their true colors. Right? And as time goes, as shit gets more bad, it's going to be more division and more, hell we see happening, more murders, more betrayal, all that amongst us and even in this world. Right? This is Sirach, known as Ecclesiastes, chapter 6 and verse 8. For many is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Right? And that's what's going to happen. Trouble is coming. So a lot of this, it's going to be more division and more people turning on each other, more murders, more setups. So it's not going to be no peace in Babylon the Great, being America. It's going to get worse here. Right? And that's what I wanted to go into in this video. It's not going to, it's going to be more divisions. But anyways, Lord willing, is edified. I like to end it off by saying, Call hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakwadash. That word city apostles, the elders, great millstone, roots, each well. Next time, come, Shalom.